Presentation of the new book list will be done by Reverend Beverly Phillips. Want to just say a couple of words about her. She is our spiritual life representative for Presbyterian women in the Presbytery coordinating team, and she's a celebrated author of several books, her latest being Hattie's book. So she has worked very hard with the team to select these books. And are you there?
I am there. I am here.
Okay.
Ready?
It's yours.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Even though we're not together, I'm hugging you all in my heart and feeling your presence as we've gone through this great meeting. The first thing I want, and it's always my delight to present these books. Am I coming through all right? And
yes,
you're good.
Okay, good. I'm always delighted to present these books, and it's one of the best, most rewarding jobs I've ever had in Presbyterian women is being on this committee. So let me first of all introduce the committee. There are 6 of us: Donna Yordy, Marjorie Matthews, Judy Beacon, Barbara Hoyle, and myself. And here's the procedure that we use to choose the books. We all 5 read and read and read. And when we find a really good one, we share it with the others. And then we make sure that at least the books we choose, that at least 2 people have really liked that book. So now what we're doing now that we've finished this year's reading list, we're reading books for 2022 and 2023. And we already have quite a list of books that we would recommend. There are 12 on the list for this year. And I'm not going to review this one, but I want to show it to you because it's called One Candle, One Small Candle. And there are 2 other books by that same name. And I want to be sure, well, they'll all be good ones, I'm sure, but this is the one we read. The one one of the other ones is about William Bradford. So that's all in this country. And then the other one is the Pilgrim's first year in this country, which would both be good. But this one, One Small Candle, is about how the people, the pilgrims who came here, how they were persecuted in Europe before they came here. And it's the most detailed and a very interesting account of the persecution they suffered when they were still in Europe. Then the next one I want to tell you about is it's just one of the best books. If you love Dolly Parton, you're going to love this book. If you scoff at Dolly Parton, you're still going to love this book because the author of it grew up in poverty in Kansas. And so when she did this book on Dolly Parton.
Hey, give me a break.
Pardon me?
keep going. It's okay.
Okay. Okay, the author of the book,
give me just one moment. I'm going to mute everyone and then I'll unmute you because I think we've got a few people that are getting a few things. So
okay.
Oops. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you would, Beverly.
Yes, okay. I hope you all have the book list so that you're not just depending on my showing you the book to find it. I'm sure your moderators and other people have it. Anyway, this book about Dolly Parton is about the poverty that she grew up in, what a poor family she was in, and the struggles she had to showcase her talents as a singer and even as a comedian, and a songwriter. So the book is about her and her choice to look the way she does. That was what I always kind of scoffed at her looks. I thought it was kind of funny, but actually, without her having done that, we wouldn't have had her talent and the great amount of philanthropy she does with the money that she makes from her music. So this is about the songs of Dolly Parton and how they affect women who live in poverty. Then another one that we chose is The White Devil The White Devil's Daughters. And we should all be familiar with Donald Dina Cameron House in San Francisco. And I know Mary was just there on the the USA exchange this past 2 years ago, I think. Anyway, this book is full of Presbyterian women and Presbyterian money that helped fund the work that the women did in San Francisco. There were so many Chinese and other Oriental women who were put into slavery as soon as they got to San Francisco. And so Donaldina Camera and these other women worked for the Presbyterian Church and helped save those women. So I think this is really one of the important books. I think they're all important, but this is really important. Then the next one, and what I've done is, since there are 12 of them, I've chosen these that were my very favorite ones. This is the book Woman of Troublesome Creek. And she was a librarian for a project in Kentucky called the Kentucky Pack Horse Library. And it was a program where the library in the city would send books out into the hollers and the various places. And they would ride a horse and carry books, and they'd make a round of leaving books and picking up books. Well, Cussie, the main character in this book, didn't have a horse, she had a mule. But that didn't stop her. Even when the mule got stubborn, it didn't stop her from going around and taking books to people. One thing about the book that I had to look up and check out for sure was she was a colored person, but her color was blue. And I thought, oh, that's made up. So I Googled it, and sure enough, there have been a group in Kentucky of folks whose skin is blue, literally blue. So she suffered not only at the hands of white people, but she suffered at the hands of Black people because she was blue. So it's a really exciting book and just a delight for readers. This is a delight to read. And the last one I want to talk to you about. This is called Anxious People, and it's by Frederick Bachman, the guy who wrote A Man Called Ove. And I just want to read a part from the cover to you. Looking at real estate isn't usually a life or death situation, but an apartment open house becomes just that when a failed bank robber bursts in and takes a group of strangers hostage. The captives include a recently retired couple who relentlessly hunt down fixer-uppers to avoid the painful truth that they can't fix up their own marriage. And there's a wealthy banker who's been too busy making money, and a young couple who are about to have their first child, but can't seem to agree on anything. So here they are. And then there's an 87-year-old woman who's lived long enough not to be afraid of someone waving a gun. So here are all these people trapped in this apartment with an armed bank robber. And it's a little bit hard to get people, when you first start reading the book, don't give up on it. It's just a little bit hard to distinguish because there's also a father police officer and his son police officer who are trying to find this robber. So it's a very good book. I'd just love to go on and tell you about the rest of them, but just read them and know you'll have a good reading history before you next year. Thanks.
Bev, we think this sounds really exciting. This new book list looks
Good.
like something to do in the summertime in the heat of the Southwest.
Yes.
So we're all looking forward to it, I think.
Good.
We weren't
good.
available, we weren't able to recognize the readers last year because we had to cancel our gathering at the beginning of the pandemic. So we're looking forward to this year being able to recognize them by sending them something in the mail. So the PW moderators that have sent me a list will be able to email me, and I will be happy. This is what a couple of them that my dear sisters in my Chinley circle made. And so we have 50 of them. And if we have more than 50, we will send out other bookmarks. So if the moderators from the different churches will send me the list email, I will be happy to mail them the bookmarks so that this year we can actually send something to them. And hopefully next year we will be able to have them come down the aisle and get the bookmarks themselves. That's
Yeah.
our hope.
Thank you, Mary. And we thank our sisters in Shinley for doing that because those will be treasured.